All right, let's do this.
All right. We're going to be so quiet now. We're like,
We're recording, guys.
Okay, good.
Hi.
Hi.
Hi. We're just all going to say hi and not introduce
That's it, just hi for the next 30 minutes. Hi. Hi, guys.
Hey, guys. We're live with the Be a Real Gamer podcast.
Oh, yeah.
I'm Alex, this is Donnie, and we have Batfish over here as our guest.
Yeah, you can call him by his name. It's Michael.
I don't even
He has a
know
name.
my real name. Do you know my real name?
I know your real name. It's
Oh,
Michael.
is it? Okay, good.
It's Michael Lee.
That's right.
Wait, too much for the internet.
It's all good.
He likes to remain anonymous.
No. It's impossible to remain anonymous on the internet. It's just, can't do it. I've tried, so I just gave up.
I've never tried. I don't... Except for when I want to mess with people. And
Well-
that's when I go under the weird names like, you know...
Base Hunter.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, Hunter.
What kind of name is that anyway?
He's a German electro house music producer.
I would have
That's Michael.
never guessed.
Nope.
He makes the kind of
With a name
music that
like
goes...
Base Hunter, it sounds like he makes random porn on the internet.
Yeah, that's what I was...
Well, the music he plays would fit, because it's like that
really, like,
bad...
dark, ominous porn, the stuff that you might find in like the basement of...
Right.
like the...
You know what I'm honestly tired of is people assuming that all porn music is the meow, 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 meow.
Well, that's just because we remember the 70s
Never
porn music,
that.
and nowadays nobody pays attention to what's in the background of porn.
I haven't heard music in porn in forever. But perhaps I'm indulging too much of what my listening experiences are about. So.
Yeah.
Well, guys, I'm going to show you some Base Hunter later. I'm just going to cut that in there.
Okay.
We'll do that.
Just keep it clean.
I'll try.
Nice.
I'll try.
Okay, good.
Donnie, you need to get a little bit louder.
There
you go.
How's that?
That's it.
Okay.
That's it right there.
So, what were we going to be talking about first?
Well, I mean, we was going to talk about your build.
Oh, my build. Yeah.
So are you like a large, medium? What kind of build are you?
Yeah. About a 36 regular.
Okay. Not bad.
Yeah. Pretty slender guy.
Well, I guess we should say first, though, that you two guys are the PC guys, and I am the Mac guy. So I'm going to have a little to say about the PC stuff, but I'm very interested in what you guys actually use. So.
Well, the build I actually just configured, my new rig, is Intel Core i7-3820. That's the Sandy Bridge E with a GTX 680 graphics card, 16 gigs of Corsair DDR3, 1 terabyte Western Digital Caviar Black.
Sexy.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because, hard drive space is really important.
Yeah, like everyone who's seen my rig, the first thing they say is, why no SSD? And I'm like, I don't know, maybe because I need space. I don't just download 3 songs and a couple of pictures and call it a day. Like, I need to do things on my computer, and that requires data. So
I have like 2.5 terabytes of data, so I could never go SSD.
This guy's got a whole bunch of like kitty porn on one of his hard drives.
Oh, shut up. Shut up. That's you. Alright, that's you. That's all those backups you had to
Well,
save.
it's Kitty, so it's all good.
Yeah. I wasn't talking about like children. This is literally feline porn. I don't know how he gets the cats to do it on camera.
He's a genius.
I have my ways. Let's just say I have my ways. Some people have their cats to do like shoryukens. I go way beyond that.
Wow. I don't want to know what you do to your cats. But,
Poor cats.
I'm just going to say that after this podcast, PETA is going to be sending Alex.
I just play dubstep. Okay, that's it. Everything happens after that.
Alex is going to have to submit a public apology.
Yeah. A personal and public. You have to apologize to everybody because that's horrible. Poor cats.
His excuse is going to be, I didn't know I couldn't do that.
Nobody told me it was wrong.
And that's what you should take from this, kids. Nobody tells you that it's wrong. Can't do it.
It probably is. If Alex does it, don't do it.
Yeah. Anything he does, just stay away from.
Yeah.
So don't play Tribes Ascend. Don't.
No.
I mean, I guess you could do that.
Don't download the Diablo 3 beta on a Sunday.
What did you think about it, Michael?
I never got a chance to play it.
I have not played it, and I refuse to.
Yeah, Donnie refuses to play anything in, mythical timeline, I want to say.
I don't want to play with fucking dragons. I'm sorry.
I don't know. See, I've enjoyed Skyrim. I enjoyed Diablo to a point. I could definitely see myself playing that.
The first Diablo was great, but that was because that came out right around the time when I got my first computer or so. So I may be wrong about that, but
please tell us the specs, because we're losing.
You know what? If we're going to talk about your first computer, we need to know the specs of it.
The first computer was an IBM Aptiva with a 486 DX 66 megahertz processor. It had 4 megs of RAM, a 300 megabyte hard drive, some Sound Blaster card, I don't remember. 13-inch CRT monitor.
It was a fatality. I don't know how he got it. He was ahead of the
Yeah. I had an NVIDIA GeForce 3 in it back in '95. No.
Wow.
But I don't remember it. Just had some shitty little integrated graphics card on it. So I couldn't get Windows 95 to install on it because it came with Windows 3.1.
Oh God.
Yeah.
That must have been interesting.
It took me 4 days to get it installed, and when I finally got it installed, it wouldn't run. It was just you click start, and then it would take a good minute for the start menu to actually pop up. So then I actually upgraded to 8 megabytes of RAM, and that
man.
That 4 additional megabytes cost me $200.
That's highway robbery.
Yeah, I saved up for a good 6 months. Yes, I got money to buy it.
Nice.
I ended up selling the computer a good, maybe 2 months later, and I think I had a Packard Bell after that, which was actually a really good computer.
My first computer, I can't remember the specs, but it was Windows 98. It was a laptop, a Gateway Solo, actually.
Oh, wow.
And that's about as far as I can go with that. The first computer I can remember that the specs on was an 800 megahertz AMD Duron with 256 megs of RAM. Yeah.
My first computer was a compact Presario. I can't remember the specs because I was 9 years old. We got it for free because we signed up for 3 years of People PC, and they gave you a free computer.
I remember when the phone companies and stuff were actually doing that.
Yeah. The graphics card in it couldn't play 3D.
It was a 2D video card.
Yeah.
I love those things.
The first, the Packard Bell that I had, it just had a 2D graphics card in it, so I had to buy a 3D graphics card that hooked up into the 2D card.
Wow.
Yeah, so you install the 3D card into the PCI slot, and then you'd have a jumper cable. It was a serial cable that went from the 3D card to the 2D card, but it was out and back. So, and the game I played was it was a first-person Star Wars game. It was a first-person shooter.
Oh.
So,
Wait. Was that Special Forces or something?
I don't know. Probably was before you were born.
Nice.
I think I know the one you're talking about. The one with,
You played...
Dark Forces. Was it Dark Forces?
Let's see. Dark Forces. Yes, it was.
There you go.
You were old.
Actually knows his shit.
I want to make you laugh. I remember that game specifically because there was some store in Florida when we was in Florida, me and my family, and it was running that game in the display, and I'm like, that thing looks so cool. We didn't get a computer until 3 years later, maybe 4.
The first game that blew my mind was Descent. You guys remember that game?
I don't.
You were like this spaceship in kind of like this underground mine cave thing, and it was completely 3D. So you could roll, pitch, yaw, like, and do, it was like you were a ship flying in a cave. So it was like you had control of every direction on the axis.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. Made you super dizzy.
I'd imagine.
Yeah.
That actually
You guys ever play Star Wars Starfighter? Or not Starfighter, X-Wing?
X-Wing versus
yeah.
Batfish, you mean?
Yeah.
Yes. I think everyone's
So many lost hours in that game.
I never did.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, that game was so good.
A part of me wants to find it, but I can't find it anywhere.
There are so many games that I want to play now that are, from my childhood that I can't play. It's just not worth the effort for me to, like, get DOSBox installed and run it,
Oh, Lord.
That's a lot of work.
Can be.
But it actually brings me to a point that I wanted to talk to you about. You, at actually one time, were a fairly hardcore PC user.
Yes, I was.
What actually made you switch?
Well, I've always wanted a Mac. And I got my first computer in 95.
You mean like the original Macintosh computer?
Well, yeah, sort of. I didn't get my first computer till I was 12 or 13, in 95. But, like, I had a video from when I was, like, 4, and they're like, what do you want for your birthday? I'm like, I want a Mac. And I didn't get it, but, I was 4 years old, I'm not going to buy a 4-year-old a Macintosh.
Nice.
When I got my first computer, it was an IBM, because at that point, Apple was really, like, they're going to go out of business any day, right? So everyone's like, no, we're not going to get a Mac because you're not going to have the guarantee that you're going to be around, right? So it's like, okay. And then I, really wanted a Mac from 95 up until, like, 2000-ish, I think. And then, I just ended up buying I needed a laptop. So I went for a Apple laptop, and that was it.
Are you talking the Apple laptop at that point? Are we talking about the
It was the white
the
iBook.
colorful clam? No, okay, not the iBooks. Okay.
No, I hated those. Those things were terrible.
Yeah, but it wasn't the clamshell looking thing, right?
No, it was just this regular square little white one.
Yeah, I know exactly which one you're talking about.
Okay.
Yeah, the iBooks were the actual decent laptops that they had. Those original, like, clamshell things were, I don't even know what they were.
Right. Toilet seats. They look like toilet seats.
That too.
Yeah.
I remember when they came out with the colored iMacs and they had the all-in-one towers and everyone was going crazy for them because they were all like, oh, it's all colorful. And I was like, I don't see the point.
I wasn't, like, when they first brought out the iMac, I was like, wow, that's kind of cool, but I never really was that into it because I wasn't that, like, hot on the design. I was like, it's okay. It looked a little girly. I was like, that's kind of girly.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I thought so too.
I remember when they broke one in Zoolander. That's all.
The files are in the computer.
I actually replay that video about 800 times a day.
You're that much of a hater, man.
No.
But yeah, when I got the iBook, I just started using that more and more and more. Like, and I still had a really good Windows machine at the time too. But I just used the Apple more and more and more and more, and then it just slowly became, well, I have this cool laptop, might as well buy a desktop, and I bought a Mac Mini, and at that point the PC went in the closet, and it just kind of stayed there. So that was it. But I've never, I don't hate PCs. I really don't. Just I prefer to use a Mac because I just like the way it works.
See, I always hear the way it works, but nobody ever really gets technical about why. Like, what are the key points in, the reasons, I would say, that you would use Mac rather than Windows?
Well, for one, it's aesthetically pleasing to me. I like the way everything looks. That's a big thing to me. If I'm going to be looking at something all day, I want it to be something that I enjoy looking at.
When you mean aesthetically, you mean the operating system, not the hardware.
Oh, right, yeah, because like my computer right now it's like 5 inches wide. I barely even see it,
Mm-hmm.
So, but the operating system itself looks beautiful. That's one of the things. Windows is very like, I'm Windows and I am in your face. And
I understand.
you know what I'm saying? It's like, okay, I've got my bar here, I've got my bar here, I've got this thing down here, I've got this over here. When you start OS 10, there's a bar on top, and that's it. And like the operating system kind of gets out of the way, and you do what you need to do. So that's one of the reasons why.
It is clean. I will agree with that.
Clean. I know this next point has been beaten to death, but it just works. Like I have no crashes. Everything just kind of works together. I don't know. There's a lot of reasons why I like it. It's hard to explain. It's just something that just vibes with me.
Well, I mean, as far as interface goes, I can completely understand your point.
Yeah.
As a person who dabbles in graphic design, interface is very important, especially just the look of it. If it's not smooth and then I don't like it. If something looks really tacky and like it was made in 5 minutes, I really don't want to use it.
Right.
I mean, I think, in my opinion, as far as that goes, Windows has, evolved a lot from what it used to be like in like XP days and stuff like that.
Right.
It is a really nice operating system today. I would say that there's a lot more consistency in the UI design choices in Mac OS X than there is in Windows.
Yes.
Some of the legacy things Microsoft just decides not to change. For
Right,
various reasons.
I haven't had much experience with 7. I've messed around with it a little bit, but I've never spent like a considerate amount of time with it, so I don't. I just get the basic idea of what it looks like. But
I mean, the simplest thing I could say of it is the best version of Windows ever. I mean, as it should be, because it's the latest one.
right.
I'm not sold on Windows 8 yet, though, so yeah, I might be sticking with 7 for a while.
Yeah, I don't know about that Metro interface. It's good for a tablet,
But I feel like they're alienating people like me who have this nice, large monitor who actually want to use it for, intensive tasks and not just check my stocks and my email and
Yeah.
Right. I don't know. It's just, it seems like they built a touch interface UI for a desktop market. That doesn't seem like it would work very well. Like
I understand their reasoning. Like their idea was, why should we make 2 different operating systems? Let's make one that can be used for both. Okay, I get that. But I think if I'm on a regular desktop with a mouse and keyboard, I don't want the same gestures as a touchscreen. And they kind of got rid of the start button, as I can see, and you have to move your mouse over to the right corner,
right,
or the left-hand corner, or whatever it is, to bring up this Metro UI thing. And I'm like, that just seems counterintuitive.
Yeah,
I'm just a huge fan of the start button. I've been using it since
honestly,
I was 10.
I think if you are on a tablet with Windows 8, it's a wonderful UI. I don't have many gripes with it as far as the touch interface goes, but if I'm using a mouse and keyboard, it doesn't look like something I want to use.
Right, I agree completely. It's like putting iOS on my desktop. It's just not going to work.
No, it's not.
No.
Like I dabble around with Xcode, the native developing IDE for iOS and stuff, and they have like it's an iPad simulator, right, and an iPhone simulator, and you have to use your mouse to do the gestures that you would normally do with your finger, and it's like it's impossible. It's not intuitive one bit. So putting that touch-based UI on a desktop is just bizarre. It's bizarre to me.
Yeah, no, I agree. I'm hoping that by the time it releases to the market that they kind of like just made this amazing thing that it works on both platforms perfectly seamlessly, but I just don't think so.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm not...
Have any of you guys had any experience with Windows Phone?
I have had not much more than just scrolling up and down the tiles when on a demo unit.
Yeah.
Yeah, same here.
It looks nice.
It's a beautiful UI, don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
As far as design goes, I just don't know if it's something I want to use on a day-to-day basis.
Right. Exactly. It looks beautiful. I mean, it definitely makes iOS look old and busted.
I mean, in some respects, yes, but I also don't really like how Microsoft's kind of taking the iOS approach with how applications work, except iOS is updated to change a bit how their applications work, like in things working in the background and stuff like that. And
right.
Windows Phone just doesn't have that whatsoever. It just there's no multitasking.
So there really is no multitasking at all?
My understanding of it is there's no multitasking. Certain things will freeze in the background, but I don't think there's a native developer kit of any kind for them to make their own software that can be held in suspension on the background.
Okay.
I'm assuming this new Windows Phone 8, or aka Apollo, is going to be touching on that.
Right.
But as of right now, the current version does not.
Huh. Yeah, because the way I don't know if you know how multitasking works in iOS. It's not.
It's not true multitasking, but it's close enough. Yeah.
Right. It's close enough. Like if it needs to if an app needs to download something in the background or upload something in the background,
it's done all through API or something.
Right. It can do that it has like 10 minutes or something. It's allowed to do that, and it can play music in the background and stuff like that. But it's not true multitasking like Android is, which I don't know. I guess it could be a good thing and a bad thing depending on what's more important to you.
I mean, it's a good thing if performance is more important to you.
Right.
It's a bad thing if flexibility is more important to you.
Right, exactly.
I guess for most people, I mean, the way I see it is Android is better for people who are really techie, and don't mind having to debug things.
Right.
Like myself, but most people, iOS is probably the solid choice. I don't personally like it. There's a couple things I really like about it. Like I've played with an iPad too, and GarageBand on there is absolutely amazing. But
oh my, it is the most amazing app I've ever used in my entire life. It is incredible.
It's the best $5 I ever spent. It's the best $5 I ever spent.
I've been using.
I don't even own an iPad, and I had to spend $5 on Nephew's iPad. Right. I was like, I'm buying this.
I've been using GarageBand on my Mac since I've had a Mac, and since GarageBand was around, and the iPad version absolutely destroys it. It's amazing.
In a lot of ways, I mean, there's a lot more. It's obviously the desktop version is a lot more robust, but there's enough features in the touch version, and the way it does it is so elegant that you don't really mind the loss of the features. Like,
exactly.
It's a wonderful experience.
Exactly. The ability to just be out and about and make a song, right then and there, that sounds amazing, is incredible. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I was like considering, I'm like, you know what, if I was ever to get hardcore into music development, I would probably have to buy an iPad, even though I don't like them, just for GarageBand, and then I'll get myself, like, plug in a USB microphone or something. Right.
And I was really excited when they announced iPhoto for iPad, because I do a lot of photography, so I was like, oh wow, maybe I can, use my iPad as a mobile setup with now that iPhoto's around. Mm-hmm. It's so bad. iPhoto is so bad. The interface is so un-Apple. The UI.
I was disappointed by it. I really was.
The experience that you have using iPhoto is very un-Apple. There's 70,000 different buttons. Mm-hmm. There's a actual help button that gives you like little tool tips on what each button does, and every button is very unintuitive. It's like, I'll give you a good example. There's a way to adjust the contrast on it, but it's not using the normal contrast slider that every app has used since contrast sliders are around. It's just very disappointing. Hopefully that'll get fixed on a new version.
iPhoto, is that like it's a photo manager or a photo editor or both?
It's both. It's like Lightroom.
Okay.
It's akin to Lightroom.
I mean, I've played around with some of the Adobe tablet applications. Photoshop Touch is all right.
Yeah.
A lot of them are just kind of clunky, though.
Agreed.
They obviously could be better, but I mean, the fact that Adobe's trying is always good. I hope they try harder, because I mean, I use the Master Suite a lot, so I mean, it'd be nice if there's a really nice on-the-go version of that.
You do graphic stuff, right?
I do.
Have you tried CS6?
I have not tried it yet, just because I don't really like playing with betas too much when it comes to stuff like that.
Okay.
I know that might sound weird, but right now Photoshop CS5 runs smooth and solid, so I'll wait till CS6 actually releases before I...
Right. What do you think about that, their pricing plan that they announced?
I have not read into that. What is the new pricing plan?
They have what is it? It's for the entire suite, I believe it's $30 or $50 a month, depending on how you pay for it. Like if you just pay for it, if you pay for it annually,
So it's a subscription-based thing.
right? It's all subscription-based. I mean, they still have a version you can actually buy, just flat out. But the subscription model is $30 if you pay annually, $50 if you pay month to month for this entire suite. Or if you just want Photoshop, it's $20 a month if you pay annually,
So
$30 a month.
it sounds like this is their way of combating piracy against, piracy, basically.
Right.
Because so many people just can't afford to give $800 and $1,000 upfront for a piece of software.
That makes a lot of sense.
That's ridiculous.
I think it sounds like a good idea. I don't know how many people are going to use it.
Yeah, I don't think it's gonna. Yeah.
I mean, it sounds like a good idea, but paying month to month for a piece of software, it just sounds like that could run into issues with like constantly needing internet connectivity to be able to use it, stuff like that.
You figure if you buy, like most people who buy CS, like any version, like say someone buys CS2, right?
Mm-hmm.
How long do you think that person has used CS2 for? If they're going to spend that much money, do you think they're actually paying every year and a half for the newest version?
Probably not.
Okay. So, how much was CS2? Like $1,000?
Yeah, but I mean, you can get student prices and stuff like that.
Right.
Also, if you have a business, you can obviously write it off.
Right. So if you look at it in a way where you can just if you're happy with the version that you have, you're probably better off in the long run just buying it flat out than paying the monthly subscription fee.
Well, yeah, and then the argument can be made that if you pay the monthly subscription fee, then you get updates whenever they release with the newest version, CS7, CS8, CS9.
Right.
And don't ever have to do anything different.
That is true. That is true. But you like to keep older versions, right? If something's worked good, you usually upgrade to the newest version, or you just kind of stick around until something really awesome comes along that you need?
It depends. With the CS suite, I will usually do upgrades if the features look nice enough, and they usually do. Like Photoshop, they usually integrate newer features that I kind of want to use.
Right.
But I always end up finding myself using the same old tool set that I normally use, but the functionality when you need it, it's nice to be there.
Right.
By the way, how's the whole master suite running on your new rig?
I really only ran Photoshop so far. That runs beautifully, but I mean, Photoshop runs pretty good on everything.
You need to open up Premiere and try video editing on that thing. See how it responds.
I do. I just don't have any raw video to edit right now. But
just fraps the next time we play Battlefield.
yeah, I figured that's what I do. I'll just fraps to my games and start editing those in Premiere and see how 16 gigs of RAM works with that.
So, if you don't mind me asking, how much did the rig cost?
Well, I bought like everything I needed because I had a laptop, so I needed everything.
Okay.
But without mouse, keyboard, monitor, and all that stuff, around $1,500 just for the actual tower.
Oh, that's pretty affordable, actually.
And that's with like my case is actually a Cooler Master Storm Sniper, 850 watt Corsair power supply.
Okay.
Yeah, I have a 750. He just decided to go one up on me because that's just what he does.
I decided to go one up just because it was in the area of around $25 more.
Yeah.
And if I ever wanted to put SL on my graphics, it's really nice to have that extra one. Plus, if, the Ivy Bridge E's come out, I might want to upgrade to a 6-core a year, 2 years down the road.
You got me nervous, by the way, because I thought 750 would be enough for my overclock and my graphics card. My graphics card is more power hungry than yours.
No, I'm not sure about that. I know my video card uses less power than the 580 does. I don't know if it uses less than the 6950 does, though.
Mine is 2 6-pin and yours is 2 6-pin, so it's close.
Probably close.
I think it's within like 20 or 30 watts.
I don't know.
So
honestly,
what was the price difference on you guys? What was the price difference between your guys' graphics cards?
Oh, well, I bought mine used. I spent like $240 or $250 for mine.
Okay. So Donnie's the baller.
Yeah.
Okay.
I can crossfire my cards, and he still has, what, a 10-15% increase in performance than I do?
depends on the game.
If it supports crossfire properly.
Okay.
If it supports Crossfire properly, and if it favors AMD, you probably have me. But if it's a game that favors NVIDIA and PhysX, then I'll definitely beat you.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, I don't like him.
I don't blame you.
I mean, I
totally
went and I
told
pushed
you.
this
Totally
over.
told
By the way, when it comes to graphics, I've always been a pretty big AMD fanboy. Even though I've always known NVIDIA makes better graphics cards, they've never been better enough to justify the price difference.
This time there wasn't a price difference.
In
They were
this
cheaper.
case, though, for the high end, the 7970 is actually more expensive, and it's about 30% slower than the GTX 680. So for me, it made no sense to go to do anything else.
Yeah, this thing is killing everything. It's scary. This guy just puts everything on high.
Right.
Excuse me, everything on ultra.
Except for Metro 2033, that game is the bane of my existence.
That game hates every video card ever.
Metro
It's
what?
like-
I never even seen this game.
2033. It's like the be-all, end-all of benchmark tests for graphics cards.
Oh, so it's like the Crisis.
It's like the crisis
The
of
modern
the
day
past 3
Crisis.
years.
Modern day
The
Crisis,
game,
yeah.
how old is it, Donnie? 2 or 3 years old now?
About that.
And
Yeah.
it's still
2010, I think it came out.
the hardest,
Look at that
graphically
screenshot right now.
intensive
That game's
game.
gorgeous.
And it's not multiplayer either. It's a single-player campaign, like RPG shooter,
Oh, wow.
set in post-apocalyptic Russia. It's based on a book, as a matter of fact.
It looks beautiful.
It's,
I'm not a big multiplayer FPS gamer. I suck at them too bad to enjoy them.
You know what? Now I remember that, because I remember I was playing with you and your brother when
Modern War-
Warfare 2 came out.
Right.
I remember that.
Yeah, and I was terrible at it.
Yeah.
Yeah, thanks. I'm really bad.
I wouldn't call myself good at video games, but I do enjoy FPS. So
Right.
I try to be good, just so I can enjoy it more.
Yeah, I can't get into all these like I love Modern Warfare, the first one when it came out. One of my favorite games of all time. But the multiplayer I just couldn't do it because I suck so bad at it. So that's why I stick to Portal and Portal 2 because
Yeah, Portal 2 was one of the first games I got on my rig because I had to play it. I was like, and
You've been waiting
For-
to play that game.
for a game that is on the Source engine, it's,
Mhm.
it's pretty. Like,
yeah, it's super pretty.
I mean, most of the. I mean, I would say one thing. Most of the scenery is very. What's this? It's like not very organic. It's very like industrial. So
Right.
and that's always easier to render than the organic stuff like leaves and all that.
Right.
And it's always easier.
It's
to
still
make that.
beautiful, though. You
Well,
have to give it that.
You guys have both played it, right?
I have. Yeah, and we both have.
Okay. There's a part where where you get to like underground the lab
Mhm.
and you're like in this big open cave. And I actually stood there for like a good minute. I was like, wow, this is beautiful.
It was.
It was amazing. And one of the best stories I've ever heard in my entire life.
Oh, by the way, yeah,
I thought it's probably the perfect game for me.
the female robot that
ending?
does the testing.
Oh, amazing. I laughed for a good 5 minutes when I don't want to give anything away for anyone who hasn't
I
Yeah.
haven't
heard the
finished
ending.
it, but I will just say
Okay.
this. Like I said, the female robot and the things she says to you to insult you are just it's hilarious.
Oh my gosh. Hilarious.
And also, I'm a big fan of the little orb that's voiced by Stephen Merchant. He's great.
Oh, Wheatley?
Yes.
And Wheatley is hilarious.
That's what I mean. Like these characters, they're not human, and yet you get so attached to
Oh,
them.
they're fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
They're fantastic.
So in that sense, the character development in the game is fantastic.
Right. I mean, how many games do you actually get attached to a freaking machine, a sentry droid that doesn't do anything but say, "Are you there?"
Yeah,
Like,
that's
when
great.
You kill it, it's like, and it goes, "I'm sorry," and I'm like, "Oh, I didn't mean to."
That's like just the ridiculousness of it. The fact that the thing that's trying to kill you has the sweetest voice
Mm-hmm.
Right?
and never says anything like anything bad. It's just like, "Hi,
Yeah.
are you still there?" Are you still-"
Yeah. It's a real testament to great storytelling.
Yeah, it is. That's
They
what I
did
have
a
to say.
fantastic
That
job. They did a
um,
fantastic job with that game.
yeah,
I know we're getting over time. I know we're getting kind of past time here, Donnie, because we're like 34 minutes. But for those out there that are still listening, if you guys haven't got bored out by us, and turned off the podcast, if they wanted to do a build, what was the most common advice you would give to people?
What do you mean?
If they want a gaming machine.
You mean like what to buy, or like how to put it together?
Mostly what to buy, because the building there's guides out there on YouTube and stuff.
Yeah, I mean,
most people, from what I've noticed, though, have an OEM rig that they want to upgrade. And the first thing you need to do is you need to see if you have a good power supply. Which what would be the odds, Donnie? Like
okay,
1 out of 100 might have a decent power supply.
On a higher end OEM PC, your common wattage is going to be about 430 watt. That's what they're going to commonly put in there, unless you specifically ask them to up that.
Yeah, that's if you spend like what, $1,100 on a desktop.
Between 8 and 11, yeah. For like an HP or a Dell,
Asus a little bit better from what I've heard with the wattages.
I'd imagine, but I don't have that much experience in buying Asus desktops, so I wouldn't know. But if you've got in the area of like a 430 watt, then you probably want to get something like if you just want to pop in a video card and play some games, you probably want to check out the 7750, the Radeon HD 7750 by AMD.
Yep.
It's not the best thing ever, but it will play games, and it doesn't require an external power connector for PCI Express. So it should work on most power supplies right out of the box. So that's something to check out. If you're building a new rig and you're on a budget, the only thing I can say is you definitely want to go AMD. Don't spend all your money on your CPU. If you've only got $800, you want to spend in the area of 180, 200, 230 for a CPU then.
Yeah, but don't...
Right.
But
and I can back that up for a fact, because I know that's... When I was still building PCs, that was the thing. Don't go overboard on the CPU. Splurge more on the graphics card.
But
yeah, I mean,
you still want to have a good processor. You don't want to go out and buy a $100 processor and a $300-$400 graphics card. Bottleneck.
As long as you promote enough balance that your processor does not bottleneck your video card,
right,
and your processor has enough life that it will you can keep it for a while, because you want to have your processor be able to last at least 2 video card cycles before you need to upgrade it.
Yeah, and for cards right now, basically an AMD quad core FX that would run everything up until the 7800 series, like 7850 and below.
As far without bottlenecking, yeah. I'd say like the FX 4100 or the 4120. Those things you'd probably want to get up to 7870, and anything above that, it's going to start bottlenecking. In that case, you're going to want at least the 6-core FX series or an i5 2500K Intel.
The 2500K is really the sweet spot if you want to build a high-end gaming machine, a really high-end one.
Yeah, I mean, if you've got $800 to $1,000 to spend, a 2500K is a fantastic CPU. The only thing you have to consider with Sandy Bridge is
Intel
that
motherboards.
With Intel motherboards, the higher-end Intel motherboards are really nice, but the Sandy Bridge ones, like the P68s and stuff like that, are a little strange. One thing with that specific series, the 1156, the amount of PCI lanes
you
are
can't
a lot
crossfire.
cheaper.
It's just no.
So you can crossfire, but you're going to be in a max of dual X8, so that's half speed on the video cards.
Half speed on a good graphics card. See,
yeah,
the thing is,
half speed on a 7770, not a big deal. Half speed on a GTX 680,
you're wasting your money. You really are. The thing is, if you want to go and get a gaming machine for $1,000, a really nice one, you have to go AMD. If you have a budget bigger than that, you can go Intel. You can kind of squeeze the build for $800 that can game as an Intel machine if you really want to video edit, stuff like that. I could tell you from my own experience. I have an overclock at 4.2 gigahertz on my 6-core. I can't compare to nice
I mean,
2500K. I can't.
A good example is like the kid we know, Miles. He just built a rig and he had like 400 to spend, and he built an AMD rig. I think he's got like.
Well, to be accurate, he had 300 to spend, and then he bought a graphics card like a month later.
Yeah, he went to Micro Center and got himself the 3 gigahertz. What is it? The 960T quad core AMD.
Yeah, the quad core Phenom, the older gen. Which
that's the Zosma that unlocks to the 6-core version. And that came with a free motherboard, which he uses that.
He got a Cooler Master 912 HAF case, the little brother to my case. Like a low end, like a 430 watt power supply.
Mm-hmm.
He got 4 gigs of RAM. He spent like $15-$20 for that.
Which, if you're just gaming, 4 gigs is plenty. At this point, you can probably afford to up it to 8 because it's not that much more expensive.
Right. I got 8 at $1,600 for like $50.
I would definitely go either 6 or 8 gigs. Just to be on the safe. It's just nice to have the extra headroom.
Yeah, I mean, the only reason why I wouldn't recommend 6 gigs...
I have to say this. Everybody that buys, that builds a PC, they don't really think about this. But if you have an AMD rig or a Sandy Bridge rig, your motherboard operates at dual channel for the RAM. So that means you have to buy your RAM in two.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, so 6 gigs would essentially try to be in triple channel, so you'd end up just being a single channel.
So you might as well go 8.
Slow your RAM. So you might as well just up it to 8 and get an even number. And make sure to inhabit at least 2 slots or all 4 if you want to be using dual channel.
I'm only using 2, but like I'm kind of blocked by my cooler, my CPU cooler.
Yeah. And I mean, and that's it. That's my building guide.
Yeah, that's pretty much. I mean, any other questions you guys have, I guess ask us.
Shoot us up on Twitter. You could tweet me at Donnie_Shy. You could tweet DJ _Alexander to talk to Alex.
Shut up.
And at Batfish if you want to talk to Michael.
Nobody wants to talk to me. I'm a loser. You can listen to me poop is what I do on Twitter.
Hey, you know what? I enjoy following you, so maybe other people will too.
Right. Well, I enjoy following you guys too.
Aww. Now we can have fun by having all the trolls bait us by listening to this.
Right.
We are going to get trolled.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, so bad.
But like Christian Pies. Oh, you guys' levels was off.
Suddenly Christian Pies is an audio engineer or something?
Yeah, where did he become an audio engineer? He's like, I heard all the background noise. You guys didn't properly edit it.
Hey, there's my ringtone.
Yep, you still haven't changed it.
Alright, well guys, that's the show for, I guess, this week. We might do another one next week or the week after that, depending on how good the response is.
Well, I had fun, guys. Thanks for inviting me onto the show.
Definitely. We'll probably do it again.
Cool. Anytime.
Alright.